Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marvel Heroes 2016, a free-to-play action MMORPG developed by Gazillion Entertainment. From a glance, you will likely see this has many similarities towards Diablo 3. Jumping straight in, we will discuss the playability for keyboard and mouse. All the keys can be rebound, and you will want to do this pretty much straight away. Some keys are so far away from the actual action keys that I don't know exactly what the devs were thinking if you play with a default key set. For example, the mouse is used for movement and primary attacking. Then by default, you use A and S as the first skills you unlock, which is okay. But then you realise that things like the medikit are bound to H by default. Now, I don't know about you, but I have two hands, not three. Unless you play the game standing up over your keyboard, then there is no easy way for you to hit all the keys you will need at any one time. Other things like ultimate ability bound to you by default, which you don't unlock until the max level anyway. However, it's still nowhere near the default action keys, so you will spend time rebinding things to make this feel like it works. Personally, I have now rebound keys like I would for Diablo 3, which makes sense to me as the two games are quite similar in how they play. The free-to-play aspect is not all terrible. My first impressions after playing this for 2 hours are not all bad, but they are certainly not all good either. You can play all the heroes for free till level 10. They simply will not level up past that from that point on unless you unlock them with the in-game premium currency. You can find the currency scattered throughout the game, however to get enough of that currency it will take you a long time to grind out. I actually had enough to unlock one hero when I hit level 10 from random chests given by quest rewards, which is nice. Just make sure you unlock the one hero you like to play the most, because trust me, you will not unlock a second if you're playing this entirely free for a long time. Speaking of the heroes, there is certainly a difference in power between them, and you can tell that straight off the bat, and it is noticeably huge. I tried mainly to play Colossus, because he's my favourite member of the X-Men. Why wouldn't I? And a bit of Deadpool, because he's just, well, Deadpool. Don't really need a reason for that one, do I? Colossus can kill pretty much anything instantly by spamming a single key, which is the default D key skill. Just slams the floor in whatever direction he's facing, and trash baddies just drop dead before they know what's hit them. He can also call other X-Men to his side, to the point where I had, I think, myself and 3 other X-Men fighting alongside me on a boss fight. I say boss fight, you wouldn't have realised it was one with how quick he died. Colossus's health just never moves. It stays on max all the time pretty much, even when you're standing stuff that should otherwise do damage to you. There felt like there was no real challenge there to be had. It was just basically having like God mode enabled. Then we have Deadpool. By default he uses his pistols from an insane range, and granted stuff dies easily. Unless you meet the slightly tougher mini bosses who will take longer to die and actually take Deadpool's health down now and then. Actual boss fights seem to last a hell of a lot longer, and if I did stand in stuff that I shouldn't, well, I suffered damage. At least he's more challenging to play and a bit more engaging. Sadly, as much as I love the Marvel Universe, this game gets pretty dull pretty quickly. I got Colossus to level 18 and I was pretty much done. It's the same thing over and over again with no challenge whatsoever. It's great to bump into the bosses as you progress, but they feel lifeless and lackluster compared to the supervillains we know and have known over the years through the comics and the cinematic universe. At the point I got to, I was simply equipping newer items for no real reason, while spamming the same key to murder everything in my path. It just doesn't feel engaging enough. It's hard to pinpoint what's wrong with this game, and what I would personally do to fix it. I can sit there all day and play Diablo 3 without getting bored. This game is basically that, but with a Marvel twist added to it. In theory, it should work. But for some reason, it just doesn't. There's no real life in this game. It feels dead. And for saying it's an MMO, it certainly doesn't feel that way. You can make this an offline game from what I have seen, and you wouldn't miss other players hanging about. Now, to talk about something that, as you know, I'm not a fan of, but it's the part where we talk about DLCs. Overall, you are looking at 11 DLC packs right now. Mostly, these are character packs, and all 11 DLCs can be purchased for a mind-boggling £234. Who in the right mind would do that? Clearly has more cash than sense. Some of these DLCs are mostly for costumes too, which is just, well, bizarre to me. Why anyone would throw money at this game with such a hefty price tag, I really don't know. Granted, the game is free to play, but I would sooner pay £35 and have everything given to me, instead of a free-to-play model that is simply in place to make your eyes water. Now, let's talk a bit about the in-game shop. If you would choose to buy into a new character, they are typically around 900 Gs. I have no idea what the G actually stands for, but it's the currency they use. So, some heroes are more, some are less. But mostly, you're looking at around 900 Gs for a new character. 900 Gs can't be purchased outright. The closest you can get is 1000, which is going to be £6.49. Basically, that's what you're paying for one of the more average heroes. One of the bigger ones, being for example Deadpool, is 1350 Gs, which will set you back at about 10 quid. Each costume for a character is also around the same price as the hero to unlock, some of which have loads of outfits. Deadpool has 8 extra outfits, 9 if you include his default one. You're looking at, and dare I say it, maybe £80 or £100 to just unlock all of those outfits. It's borderline insanity. The more I go into the depth of this free-to-play model and the premium prices for things like pets or costumes, the more and more it feels like a ridiculous cash grab. The sort of cash grab you see on some mobile games which sell you packs of premium currency for basically the price of a kidney. Overall, the gameplay is pretty boring, and it gets boring very quickly. It's not one of the better action RPGs out there, far from it. I remember playing Path of Exile and having tons more fun, which runs over to the free-to-play model too. However, that game just seems to play better overall. Sadly, this game I cannot recommend. I was hoping not to jump on the bandwagon of negativity for this one, but as a huge Marvel fan, I still can't bother to play this. If the genre is of your liking and you want to play something for free, just go with Path of Exile. If you can spend a bit, Diablo 3 is still my personal preference. On that note, I'll see you again next time.